Hi guys, so today we're going to start off with a Goddess Within Oracle, and we have Ma'at. And we know the story. She would weigh your heart against a feather to see whether you could have entrance into the afterlife, accompanied by Osiris. And then I also like to think of her also as kind of like the Justice card. You know, she has the scales, and if you look way over there with Yarrow, there's some scales in there too. So maybe we have somebody who, maybe you're Libra, or maybe you're somebody who kind of identifies with that. I feel like this is talking a lot about balance, but she also has a really good message about, not avoiding the uncomfortable truths. And what I mean by that is balance has to come from, the good and the bad, the light and the dark, embracing the parts of us that, maybe aren't that great, that we kind of need to work on, right? But it doesn't have to mean that we're these horrible, awful people because of things that we've done in the past that we've healed from. Or it can also mean, too, things that have, quote unquote, happened to you. Don't allow those to color your idea of who you are. A lot of growth comes from overcoming these mindsets where we feel like we're the victim, right? And a lot of times in people's lives, they are the victim. But the mindset of staying in that is what will kind of keep you trapped in that. And sometimes in certain situations, it's very hard, especially if you're still trapped in a certain situation that makes you feel like a victim, right? But if it's a situation you can get out of, or if it's a situation that really is just your mindset, that's truly important to kind of get yourself out of that mindset. And I'll tell you kind of like a mini story. Like for me, for a very long time, and I've been with my husband for a bazillion years, and he's a good man. But we got together really, really young, so there were things that we kind of traded back and forth, insecurities back and forth. And I got into this mindset where it was like, oh, well, he's this way. And I never really kind of saw my part of it. I don't know how to express that without making me look awful. But I mean, trust me, he wasn't innocent. But at the same at the same time, it was kind of like not noticing the things that I was doing that was kind of perpetuating the cycle. And I think we both kind of through life, we kind of drop those away. That's what cycles do, right? We kind of realize the thing that's keeping the cycle going in a certain way or keeping us stuck on that wheel, right? And that is kind of what I'm feeling with this card. And then the bottom card, which is beautiful, is the Indian Cross. And this is in the Mystical Shaman Oracle. And this talks about, with the essence, it says, the Indian Cross represents the cosmology of the shaman. It depicts our four cardinal directions, the upper and lower worlds, and the steps to each of these realms. The hole in the center is the gateway to interdimensional travel, the proverbial eye of the needle we can all go through to experience higher states of awareness and wisdom to break free from linear time. And the invitation says, the Indian Cross announces a start to a great journey. This time, it's time to raise your gaze from the mundane day-to-day to that which until now has seemed beyond your grasp. Allow new wisdom to guide you and stop trying to make sense of it all before you respond with a resounding yes. So you got my reading yesterday. I kind of feel like that's been telling us, whoever resonates with whatever, I feel like that's saying, we're given this opportunity. We need to jump right and take it. This is a time where, the good and the bad has been balanced. And I kind of feel like there's this opportunity here for whoever. And how that kind of fits in with this Ma'at card is a lot of the things we learn along the way. And I'll use my personal example as an example. So through these things that have happened, I feel like both me and my husband have gained immense, I can't say words, immense growth internally that has allowed us to really see what we do have and how to really not only treat each other, but treat ourselves. Because ultimately, I feel like that's a big part of it too, is really understanding your worth and what you will allow really kind of helps you know how to treat other people, right? So say you're in a situation and you're feeling like this person doesn't appreciate you. Well, what are you doing to allow that person to see that, right? What conversations are you having? What activities are you doing? And to go back to a reading that I was watching the other day by Lana, I don't ever get your channel right, but I'll put it in there. Lana Lighthouse Oracles, and I can't remember how. Anyways, I'll put her in the thing. She's such a wonderful person, but she was talking about the mirror and the reading that she had. I think I'm going to share it so that way you guys can know what I'm talking about. And it was good. It was about the mirror, how we, a lot of times we look at people a certain way and we don't understand that we're really projecting our own insecurities or own situations. If I got what she said right. Anyways, so I kind of feel like that's saying, with this card that, there's this opportunity because we've kind of come to this point. And so when we go to the first row, I have the wheel and we have Hierophant. I feel like this is something that this is a time, right? This is a really golden time for somebody's path. Since we have the Hierophant there, I really feel like that's what this is talking about. It's something that's either your soul path, your spiritual path, or it could be like a deep personal philosophy type guided path, right? So this is something that we feel deeply within, and this is a ripe time of opportunity for this. So I feel like that's what this is saying. And then our second row is the Ace of Cups and the Four of Pentacles. So this row is always what we need to work on, what we need to focus on. And I feel like we're given this beautiful opportunity for fulfillment and for deep emotional and creative opportunity. But we have to kind of remember that sometimes we hold back, right? We hold back our expectations of ourselves, and through past expectations, like what we thought we were limited by, or what we thought we weren't worthy enough to have, right? So I feel like this is saying, look at these things and be realistic on, what do we kind of need to work on? What am I doing? What kind of blocks do I have that are kind of keeping me from my path, right? So I feel like that's what that's saying. And our third row is the resources we have around us, the energy, whether it be solar, planetary, cosmic energy, whether it be people, whether it be, situations, things that you've learned, skills, just resources around you, and whatever you could use to really work with this. Lessons we've learned. So we have the Ten of Cups and we have the Three of Wands. So I feel like this is saying that there's a lot of noises. I feel like this is saying that along our journey, there is a potential for true emotional satisfaction. Because Ten of Cups is emotional satisfaction. There's the family there, because when you have a nice, warm, balanced family life, that's what it should feel like, right? But it doesn't have to be somebody with a big family. It can just be that part of your life, that whatever feels home to you, whatever gives you that deep satisfaction. And then with the Three of Wands, the Three of Wands is expansion. It's seeing the bigger picture on your journey, having great wonder and awareness of the possibilities. And I feel like that's really what this is saying, is there's so much possibility for emotional fulfillment, whether it be in a relationship, a spiritual path, something that is deeply centered within your soul. And I feel like that's what this is saying, is it's really saying that, we really need to understand that the things that are holding ourselves back are our feelings of lack and our feelings of, I can't do it, or this happened in the past, that other shoe dropping type of thing. And boy, do I know that feeling, because I lived in that state for a long time. For a long time, it was like, I can't enjoy this because if I do, it's just going to be taken away. And a lot of that comes from our upbringing. A lot of that comes from just our mindset. Sometimes that comes from just society in general, right? A lot of times we think of things and we look back on it and we're like, why did I believe that? And, there's just like these demons and all these things that we think that are out to get us. A lot of times those are mindsets. When you think back on like a lot of the the mythological monsters or whatever, usually these are things that we have to overcome to become our whole selves, right? To become these gods or whatever. This is what it's about. But it's also about understanding the here and now and enjoying it right now, right? But not letting that limitation of it not being here yet stop you. And then our last row is the Six of Wands and the Ace of Swords. So this is success. This is success in, maybe this is some type of idea or inspiration or knowledge or wisdom that you have. Or this could be the fact that you know that this could be successful. So don't allow yourself to hold yourself back, right? Whatever this is for you, I feel like it is going to be successful. You just have to drop those feelings of lack and feelings of I can't. But also understanding that, the work that you need to do on yourself, those things that, we need to kind of like overcome, not being oblivious to it. You know what I mean? Not saying that like, it's okay if, I decide that I want to sleep till noon every day and then be upset because I don't have time to do something before I go to work, right? So it's not being oblivious to things that you can control and you can work on yourself. It's being aware that these blocks that we have are really things that we can work on ourselves. I feel like that's part of it too with that, that balance and that Ma'a card. And so we have our Herbal Astrology Oracle with Yarrow. And it's ruled by Venus, and it's number 15 in this book. And harmony is what it's about. Equilibrium, balance, discernment, nourish psychic shield, divinatory empathy, and sensitivity. And I'm going to read like this part of it because I thought it was pretty good. If you're feeling emotionally drained or too sensitive for today's world, it's time to set solid boundaries to regain balance. Use your empathetic abilities as a grounding cords to your psychic powers and divinatory skills. Allow your sensitivity to be a filter for what is allowed within your psychic field and what isn't. Like the magic of the white heron, move slowly with the precision you navigate emotional waters. Heron teaches us power of self-reflection as a way to transcend judgmental projections and allow self-worth. Draw clear boundaries and examine yourself for a detached perspective. Don't blame situation or others as a reason to remain stuck. Yarrow's white light teaches us the power of shielding while remaining gentle in the process of self-discovery. And I feel like that does touch on that a little bit too. It touches on, not thinking everything outside of yourself as the answer. If I just, that's that person's fault, right? It's understanding that a lot of the things that we look at and we think about as being wrong with somebody else is our perception and how we respond to that. Now, again, that doesn't mean don't let people treat you like crap, but at the same time, what are you tolerating and what are you protecting yourself against in a good way, right? Because like the Four of Pentacles, there's a good way of being, stable and reserved with your finances and your belongings and your emotions, but there's also putting up a wall and blocking, right? And that can sometimes be felt by somebody else. So maybe they're responding in the way that you're responding to them. But and then I have another a crystal angel oracle with opal. Let yourself sparkle and shine. You are guided to be bold and show your bigger than life side to the world. So I feel like this is really talking about somebody who maybe kind of needs that boost to understand that, yeah, you might have some things that you need to tweak. We all do. I think even the most successful or what we perceive as somebody who has it all together probably needs to every day look in the mirror and say, I'm good enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. Do a little Stuart Smalley in the mirror, right? And I feel like that's what it's talking about. It's like not being oblivious to the things that we need to work on, but not allowing those to block us from how far we've come and what we really need to do, right? To achieve and to really get that ultimate fulfillment that we want. And I feel like this reading is kind of giving us a little tough love, saying, yeah, you can have these things, but you need to balance out, the things where we think we're the worst possible thing in the whole world, but then we want to think that, all I have to do is like really ignore those things and just count on the overly positive things, right? It's balance. Everything is balance. I hope this helps somebody out today, and I will talk to you guys later.